fourth Anamataggasaṃyuttaṃ. Okay, before that suttas, that is the actually you can see in Dutiya Vagga you have Duggata Sutta, Sukhita Sutta, Tinsamatta Sutta, here the Sutta, Matu Sutta, Pitu Sutta, Bahatu Sutta, Bhagini Sutta, Putta Sutta, Ditu Sutta. Those are the suttas. So therefore, many suttas we need to go, but anyway, here explain the fourth sutta, Dutiya Vagga, Matu Sutta. But before that, we need to go to Tinakatta Sutta in Patama Vagga, because otherwise you cannot understand what it says in the Matu mean, mother, Pitu mean the father. Okay, then Tinakatta Sutta. Tinakatta Sutta, you can see Tinakatta Sutta, you can see in this way, number 124. Evaṃ me sutaṃ ekaṃ samayaṃ bhagavā sāvatyaṃ virati jetavane anāthapindikassa ārāme tatrako bhagavā bhikkhu āmantesi bhikkhuvoti badanteti te bhikkhu bhagavato paccasosum bhagavā etada voca. So this is actually very common to all suttas. So then this is actually at Savatthi city. And Buddha addressed the bhikkhu, and bhikkhu replied, Venerable Sir, like, then Buddha told this sutta in this way. Anamataggasaṃyuttaṃ bhikkave sansaro kubba koti na panyayati avijja nivaranānaṃ sattānaṃ tanha saṃyujanānaṃ sandhavataṃ sansaratam. What is the meaning? Anamataggasaṃyuttaṃ bhikkave sansaro. Bhikkave monk, sansaro, anamataggo ayam sansaro. So ayam sansaro anamataggo. What is the meaning? So bhikkhu, this sansara's beginning. So anamatagga mean agga mean beginning, right? Agga mean this sansara's beginning is unknown. Anamatagga. Mata mean, I told you, mata mean the known, and then amata mean not known. So then bhikkhu, this sansara's beginning is unknown. Oh, this sansara is without discoverable beginning. Pubba koti na panyayati. Pubba koti mean the very first end. The very first point is not known, is without discoverable beginning. Pubba koti na panyayati. Avijja nivaranānaṃ sattānaṃ tanha saṃyojanānaṃ sandhavatam sansaratam. That sandhavatam mean, this is the meaning. Sandhavatam mean like running through one plane of existence only. Maybe you die in this human world and then again reborn as a human being, right? And then again you die and then again reborn as a human being. That is the sandhavatam. Sansaratam means running through from this world to the other world. And then, for example, let's say like you are now here as a human being, and then you you may reborn in the heaven or the deva world in the next life, and then again you come into the human being, or if you produce jhana, you can go up to the jhana planes. And sometimes you may be reborn in the human being again, and then you may go into the hell, or you may go into the animal world, or sometimes you may go into you may reborn in the ghost or the demon landscapes. So like that. So that is the sansarata. Sandhavata means within the same plane you die and then you reborn again. You die and reborn, like that. So what is the full meaning here? And the other one is the reason is avijja nivaranānaṃ sattānaṃ. So what is the avijja nivarana? Nivarana, the nivarana is the 5 hindrances. So nivarana, we can say that is the ba. So avijja nivarana, then that means hindered by the avijja. So avijja, what is the avijja? I every time explain what is the avijja. Avijja means in our past first past life, we didn't understand or we didn't realize a Four Noble Truths from the Arahant path knowledge. And because of that reason, we expected what called the bhava or the becoming. Like, may I reborn in the human plane? Like that, you have aspirated in your past life while doing the kusala karma. Otherwise, you never reborn as a human being. If you do the akusala karma and then verge of death, at the verge of death, it you focus that akusala karma, then you will reborn in the four woeful states. So like that. So now here, avijja mean because as I explained this thing in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, because our body and the mind are actually not the being or the self, atha, not the being or the person or the self. Those mind and the or the mentality and materiality are always arise, always passes away, and because of that reason, and if you cross this dukkha satya dhamma, or we can say that if you cross your five aggregate and if you cross your the causes of five aggregate while doing vipassana meditation, and if you attain to the arahantship and you never want to aspirate again life, one life, because uh, the life is nothing, only mentality and mentality, and those are always arising and passing away. So therefore, uh, I don't need to have another becoming. So like that, because of that reason, you never reborn again as a bhava or the becoming. So, but we all didn't attain to the arahantship in the past life. Because of that reason, we expected as to reborn as a human being. So therefore, we reborn as a human being. But the thing is here, what is avijja? Because we didn't understand uh, the what call uh, uh, Four Noble Truths by the Arhant path knowledge, we expected a life, but where you don't have a life. So that is the avijja. So avijja nivarana. Here the main nivarana or the main hindrance Buddha mentioned here. So because the sutta says in this way, avijja nivaranadinam tanha. Sorry, yeah, avijja nivarananam sattanam, of the being, the hindrance of or delusion, we can say that is the hindered by the delusion, right? Hindered by the delusion and sanyojana, tanha sanyojana. Sanyojana means, fettered. So fettered by the craving. So beings are fettered by the cravings and hindered by the delusion or illusion or something, avijja, and because of that reason, we are running through and moving about in the plane of existence. So because of that reason, our Pubba Koti, or the very first point, we cannot see, that is not known by us. So that is the meaning. Okay, Sayyatapi Bhikkhave Puriso yang imasmin Jambudipe tinakatta saka palasam tang chetva ekajang samharitva chaturangulang ghatikang katva nikkipeya. Ayang me mata tassa me matu ayang mata. Okay, let's start here and then takes the meaning. Sayyatapi Bhikkhave, suppose bhikkhu, a man would cut Puriso yang imasmin jambudipe tina katta palasang tan chetwa. Okay, chetwa mean cut, right? Thinner mean what it imas mean jambudipe mean in this jambudipa. But what is the jambudipa? The jambudipa mean what is the world we live? That is the jambudipa, and a whole world, whatever we see by our eye, the sea and the land, and so that is our world. That is what is called Jambudipa. So this Jambudipa, in this Jambudipa or in this world, in this human world, Tina mean grass, Katta, wood, Saka mean branches, and Palasa mean foliage, or we can say leaves of the plants. Tam Chetwa. Oh, okay. Then now what he want to do is he cut this all the thinner cut all all grass, all wood, all branches, all the leaves, right? And then he cut off all the he cut up to pieces. Ekajjang Sangharita, and then making heap or making some making some heap mean the collect, right? Collect them as a heap, a single heap. And chaturangulang gatikang katva nikhipeya. And chatura angula mean the inch. Chaturangula mean 4 inches. So uh, then he made them into pieces. Each is 4 inches. Each is 4 inches. Each is 4 inches mean what is that? It's grass and the branches like thing, wood, branches, foliage like thing. Each kind of thing. Each is 4 inches, and then he nikhipe. Gatikam katva. Gatikam mean that is the some piece, right? Piece. Chaturangulang gatikam katva mean he made them into pieces, each is 4 inches. And Katha Nikhipeya, and he put them down in this way, saying in this way, Ayam me mata. He takes some one piece out of that heap, right? He take one piece and then he name, this is my mother, and then again ayam me mata, and then tassa me matu ayam mata, me matu ayam tassa mata. That means that is the grandmother. So this is my mother, this is my grandma, like that he put, right? This is my mother, again this is my grandma, this is my mother, this is my grandma, like he thinking, and he put them down, to another not to that heap, to the put them down, right? And then uh, buddha said in this way, apariya dinnava bhikkhave tassa purisassa mata pitaro matu mataro assu. Apariya dinna. Pariya dinna mean like not come to the end. Come to the end. Paryadina mean come to the end. So aparyadina mean they would come to the end. Would never come to the end, right? So aparyadinava bhikkave tassa purisassa matu matro asu. Matu matro mean the sequence of his that man's mother and the grandmother sequence would never come to an end. Atha imasmin jambudipe tinakatta sakapalasam parikhyam paryodanam gacchaya. But the thing is, the grass, wood, branches, foliage, And in this Jambudipa would be used up and exhausted. Tankisa hetu. What is the reason? Anamataggasaṃyuttaṃ bhikkhave sansaro. This is the reason. Because this sansara is beginningless. And then again Buddha told what he told in the beginning. So Anamataggasaṃyuttaṃ bhikkhave sansaro pubba koti na panyayati. And then the very first point is not obvious of the being. And na panyayati. Panyayati means seeing, sees. Somebody sees. And then na panyayati means do not see, doesn't see. And avijja nivarananam sattanam tanha sanyojanam sandhavatang sansaratang. And then again say the running through and moving about of the being, now running through and moving about, hindered by delusion and fettered by the craving. So not only that, Buddha told how you wanna get rid of your sansara or cut off your sansara in this way. Evam dhigaratang vo bhikkhave dukkhang pachanabhutang. Pachanabhutam experience. So Buddha said, told to the bhikkhu, for such a long time you experience suffering, dukkhang pachanabhutam, experience suffering. Pachanabhutam experience, warming you. So for such a long time, bhikkhu, you experience suffering. Tibbang pachanabhutam. Tibbang means more suffering, like anguish like thing. Sharp pain in the mental or physical, sharp pain, what is called tibba. So anguish. You experience anguish for such a long time. And vyasanam pachanabhutam. Vyasana means like death of relatives and like any kind of misfortune. If you have, that is what is called vyasana. So you experience vyasana. Katasi vadita. Katasi means that is the graveyard or the cemetery. So katasi vadita. Vadita means you grow your cemetery, not your cemetery. You grow the or swell the cemetery. What did that mean? Because why? The reason is, by the corpse or the dead bodies, because of death again and again. So because of that reason, katasi vadita, you swell the cemetery. And yavanchidam bhikkhame. So therefore, because of this beginningless sansara or the round of rebirth, you experience suffering. Because of that reason, how you gonna liberate? So Buddha told the path. This is the path. Yavanchidang bhikkhave alameva sabba sankaresu nibbiditum. Now Buddha explained, just here remind you how you wanna get rid of this sansara or the round of rebirth. You need to practice. Yavanchidam. Therefore, bhikkhave, yavanchidam bhikkhave. Therefore, monk, alameva, alang eva, right? Alang means pretty good. It's pretty good. Alang eva, sabba sankaresu nibbiditum. Now Buddha mentioned, according to our vipassana jnana, or the 16 kinds of vipassana jnana, Buddha here explained nibbida jnana. Nibbida jnana means disenchant, the knowledge of the disenchantment knowledge. So Buddha explained, so it's pretty good to disenchant within all formation. Sabba sankaresu, it's pretty good to disenchant within the all formation. And that means you need to, Buddha here, he remind you the path. So taking nibbidanya, these 16 stages of vipassana, you should practice, you must practice. So Buddha told to you, this is nibbidanya. right? Nibbida jnana, disenchantment knowledge. That is the eighth knowledge of the path of purification. So eight knowledge only mentioned. So, but if you do not have this eight knowledge, then what you want to do? You want to come down up to the Sila Visuddhi. Sila Visuddhi means if you do not have your Sila purified, then you Sila or the virtue purified, then you first want to purify it. And then Chitta Visuddhi. Oh, you must practice uh, concentration up to the Upachara concentration as a Suddha Vipassaka or as a Samatayaniga Vipassaka, you should practice jhana. So taking jhana object or taking upachara object, so you practice up to upachara concentration or jhana concentration, and then you end up with chitta visuddhi. And uh, after having developed your chitta visuddhi, you just wanna practice these 16 stages of vipassana. So starting from nama rupa pariccheda jnana. So then, but Buddha explained here nibbida jnana, eight jnana or the eight knowledge. But if you do not have, then you practice up to the eight knowledge. So first jnana is the nama rupa pariccheda jnana, mentality and materiality definition knowledge, and then cause discerning knowledge. You must practice, and then you come into the vipassana. So starting point of vipassana, then that is the sammasana jnana. That means what is the sammasana jnana? In the sammasana jnana, you need to practice vipassana. That means you take just whatever you practice in nama rupa pariccheda jnana, the objects of nama rupa pariccheda jnana. That means your dukkha satya dhamma, the phenomena of the noble truth of suffering. So take that object and practice as anicca for a long time, dukkha for a long time, anatta for a long time. And then you take the cause discerning knowledge objects. That mean your samudaya satya dhamma, your cause mean avidya is the first cause, and then tanha is the second cause, then upadana clinging is the third cause, like sankhara is the fourth cause. Sankhara mean the formation, and then kamma sati or the coming force is the fifth cause. So cause discerning, if you discern those causes and then take those courses, and then you should get into the result. Because of this course, this is the results is your five aggregate. So five aggregate mean your nama rupa pariccheda jnana. So then you just wanna do the causal relationship of your five aggregate, and then the five causes, and then practice vipassana as anicca dukkha anatta. This is the sammasana jnana stage. And if you practice in this way, now all the mentality and materiality are arising and passing away very very quickly. And then you must practice udayabhaya jnana, or the arising and perish knowledge. And then you must practice dissolution knowledge. And then you practice bhanga jnana, that is the dissolution knowledge. And then because of this dissolution, that means you must practice seeing the phenomena of nama and rupa, or the dukkha satya and the samudaya satya dhamma phenomena perishing away only, or passing away only, or the dissolution phase only. And because of that reason, you feel uh, fear towards the beginningless sansara. Fear, because you don't have any kind of refuge. So therefore you feel fear, and that is the bhaya jnana, right? And then bhaya jnana, and then adinava jnana means danger knowledge of the five sense world, and the other all three world, right? And then if you practice in this way, and then about the nature of this nama and the rupa, or the five aggregate, as well as their causes. So then that is, therefore you don't need to enchant. You don't need to enchant. Now you see with the jhana light or the upachara light, and then the reality, you see reality, and then because of that reason, you feel disenchant. Disenchant. So Buddha explained here the up to disenchantment knowledge, and then so this is the way of practice. So every time this Buddha, all Dhamma talks are related to Four Noble Truths, right? So Four Noble Truths mean here two Noble Truths in the beginning. Nama Rupa Paricajnana is the first Noble Truth, that is the Dukkha Satya. And the second Noble Truth is the Samudaya Satya, that is the cause discerning knowledge, Pacchaya Parigahanyana. And then when you see the Nibbana, that is the Nirodha Satya. And then in the Nirodha Satya, what is the practice? This is the practice. And when you realize Sotapanna or Sakadagani or Anagami or the Arihant path knowledge, then your defilement cut off step by step, and then you liberate from the round of rebirth. So this is the way. Then it says, Yavanchidam bhikkave alameva sabba sankaresu nibbiditum alang. So therefore, it's pretty good to disenchant of all the formation. All the formation means your dukkha satya dhamma and the samudaya satya dhamma. And alang virajjitum. It's pretty good to dispassion towards them. Virajyatim means dispassion. Alang vimuchitum means liberate. So it's pretty good. It's better uh, to make your mind liberate from this all formation. That means Arahant path knowledge. Buddha ultimately explained the Arahant path knowledge. So then that means all suttas depend on that chart. That chart means whatever we went there, Pubbha Bhaga Patipada and Apara Bhaga Patipada, all suttas depend on that, because Buddha focus only the path, right? Because Buddha need to many beings to liberate from this round of rebirth. So every time, you just take that chart and then you go through that chart every time. Even one day you go through that chart and then practice, right? Practice means whenever you don't have your sila visuddhi or the purification of the virtue, you do that first, and then you take the object of samatha object or the jhana object or without jhana object, and then practice up to its top. That means, for example, anapana meditation up to the fourth jhana, four element meditation up to the upachara concentration, access concentration, like that. So you need to practice, and then practice accordingly up to arahantship. That's the meaning. Based on that chart, only Buddha um, give Dhamma talk. So I will explain this sutta again, because this sutta is very important. So I just explain this. Okay, from the beginning. Well, let's see. So then that means I've heard in this way, like at Savatthi, Blessed One addressed the bhikkhu, and then bhikkhu replied. And then Anamataggasaṃyuttaṃ bhikkhave sansaro. I mean, bhikkhu, this sansara's beginning is unknown. The former end of the beings is not obvious, not discerned, not obvious to see. By this meaning, actually last end also not obvious, right? So when we go to Atakatha, it says in this way, last end also by this meaning, that means first point is not obvious, then that means at the end point also not obvious. So take that meaning also. So therefore Buddha says, Bhikkhu, the sansara is beginningless, or the beginning is unknown, and the former end, first end of the being is not obvious, and the last end also not obvious. So the beings uh, running through in one plane of existence and moving about from one plane to the one plane of existence to the another, that is hindered by delusion and fettered by craving. Suppose because a man would cut up whatever grass, sticks, and then branches, foliage that are in Jambudipa and collect them together into a single heap. And then he made them in pieces, each is 4 inches, and he put them down uh, saying this, that means this is my mother, this is my grandmother, and again this is my mother, this is my grandmother, this is my mother, this is my grandmother, like he put them down. And the sequence of that mother and man's mother and the grandmother would never come to an end. But yet the grass and the wood, branches, foliage in the Jambudipa would be used up and exhausted. What is the reason? Because this sansara is beginningless. The very first point is not obvious of the beings that running through and moving about, hindered by hindered by avijja or the delusion and fettered by the craving. So, because for such a long time you experience suffering, you experience anguish, that means sharp pain mentally or physically. Death of relatives, you experience death of relatives like any kind of misfortunes, vyasana, and because of that reason, you swell the cemetery or the graveyard, you sell the cemetery and by the corpses. Therefore, yavanchidam, therefore it's pretty good to disenchant with all formation, and it is pretty good to make your mind dispassion towards all formation, and it's better to make your mind liberate from them. So this is the explanation by the Buddha, and this explanation is very, very helpful to practice meditation up to the arahantship. So that should be you should take. This is very little sutta, but the meaning is very, very, very actually in detail. Okay, now actually we need to go not the suttas, but why I went there, because if you do not understand this sutta, you can't understand Matu Sutta. Okay, now let's go to the Matu Sutta. Right, Matu Sutta means it is in the next vagga, Dutiya vagga. Yeah, Matu Sutta. So what it says, Savatyang Vihirati Peyalang. That means the like Evang Me Sutang, like thing here. Savatyang. This is also at Savati. Anamataggasaṃyuttaṃ bhikkave sansaro peyalang naso bhikkave satto sulabarupo yo na mata bhut pubbo imina divina aduna. Then now Buddha told to you, because it's not easy to find out a being who has not formally being your mother, who has not formally been your father, like that, right? Here, Matu Sutta only mother, right? Pitu Sutta, then the Pita or the father. So bhikkhave satto sulabha na so bhikkhave satto sulabha rupo yo na mata bhuta pubbo imina digena atuna. For such a long time, along the long time, uh, you can't find out. It is not easy to find a being who has not formally been your mother, like that. Tanki sehetu. What is the reason? Anamataggasaṃyuttaṃ bhikkave sansaro peyalang alang vimuchitunti. That because anamataggasaṃyuttaṃ bhikkave sansaro mean like uh, that means bhikkhu, the sansara is beginningless. The very first point is not obvious, and not obvious of the beings who running through and moving about, hindered by the delusion and fettered by the craving. So like that, because of that reason, it's pretty good to disenchant with the all formation, and it's pretty good to dispassion of them from them. It's pretty good to liberate from them. So that means arahant path knowledge. Here also Buddha explained the path up to the nibbana. And then when you go to Pitu Sutta, it says in this way. Savatyang virati, then Anamataggasaṃyuttaṃ bhikkhave sansaro pubbha kotina panyayati, like that you need to avijja nivaranadinam sattanam tanha sanyojananam sandhavatam sansaratam, like thing you need to tell. And that means everything explained, but we don't have time. And so bhikkhave, naso bhikkhave satta sulabarupo yo na pita bhuta pubbo. Like that, pita bhuta pubbo mean that it's not very easy to find out a being who has formerly been your father, like that, to formerly being your brother, formerly being your sister, formerly being your son and daughter, like that. Every suttas you need to review, right? Every sutta you need to review, and then what is the main purpose here? You need to cut off your resentment towards one person or a bunch of person. So that is the important thing. The great thing is you keep it mind, keep continuing your practice meditation. That means, and attain jhana, and try to get understand everything in this book according to the Buddha's teaching. Okay, let's all we accumulated merits, so we need to share with these merits with the all beings. So this is the way. Idam me punyang asavakhaya vanghotu. Idam me punyang nibbana sapaccayo hotu. Mama punyang bhagang sabbe sattanam bhajimi. Te sabbe me samam punyang bhagam gabantu. Buddha sasanang chiram tithatu. Buddha sasanang chiram tithatu. Buddha sasanang chiram tithatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.